Hey, Ridgely here, and before we get to the X factor for wealth creation, let's briefly review the 4 laws of prosperity flow. First of all, law number 1, we have to be open to receiving. We have to be open to receiving and not create mental blocks by old baggage such as money is bad, rich people are bad, rich people are greedy. Any of those kinds of things have to be examined and discarded because they don't serve us, and we will stop our own ability to receive. That's law number 1. The money flows, the energy that is money flows to us. Law number 2, we take some of the energy that we have and we put it back to work in the marketplace, providing goods or services that people need and want. Our energy goes out there. The marketplace rewards us with energy in the form of money. That's called earning. Law number 2, what do we have to do? We have to receive the money, the flow that the marketplace is rewarding us with. Then we take some of that energy and we provide for our own needs. That is food, shelter, clothing. That is mandatory. Food, shelter, clothing that we spend. Law number 3, spending, putting money back to work in the marketplace to get us the things that we need. Now there's also discretionary spending, and that's where people get in trouble. Remember, rich people acquire and invest in assets, things that pay you, including investing in the biggest asset that all of us have, which is ourselves. So we receive money from the marketplace, from the energy that we invested, and then we put money, energy back into the marketplace in the form of spending. Spending wisely, rich people invest in assets. Now, here's what some people do that is a fatal flaw. They don't spend wisely, they spend completely. They spend everything, so they have nothing left. Law number 4, accumulating, works like this. Some of the flow, the energy that we receive, we need to hold on to. We need to keep. Why? So that we can accumulate energy and take that energy and put it to work in someone else's enterprise. That is called investing. Investing is that simple. It's taking your accumulated energy and putting it to work in someone else's enterprise. So quickly reviewing again the 4 laws of flow. Number 1, we have to be open to receiving. Notice how this energy is constantly moving back and forth. As soon as we receive, we put energy back out into the marketplace. The marketplace pays us in the form of energy, money, which we again receive. We take some of that energy that we've received and we spend it on the things that we need, number 1, and the rest is entirely up to us. Remember, rich people spend wisely. The rest spend foolishly. What are you going to choose to do? And a piece of what we receive, we hold on to. We accumulate to take that piece and put it to work somewhere else, investing, which means that we create another form of flow. Because where we invest that money, that entity, that person, is going to either reward us with dividends, royalties, or an equity appreciation. In other words, that our energy becomes worth more than it was before. Those are the 4 laws of prosperity flow. Now, let's get to the X factor for wealth creation. Notice I'm not talking about succeeding. I'm talking about the creation of wealth. These are 2 different things. And in this particular case, I'm talking about big wealth, or what we're going to call massive wealth. You get to decide what that is for you. Here is the X factor. 100 years ago, Napoleon Hill wrote this book, Think and Grow Rich, one of my favorites. It made a huge impact on me, and in it he outlined the principles for success. Notice that he talked about success at whatever level you want, but did not specifically focus on massive wealth. Well, 100 years later, I decided what a cool idea if we were to go out and do the same thing and interview millionaires and billionaires, much like Napoleon Hill did in Think and Grow Rich, on the principles of success and wealth accumulation. And after over 100 interviews, all of which I did on DVD, which I'll get to that a little bit later in this presentation, I wrote the book, The Great Ones, which just came out. Wiley Publishing put this out, big, huge publishing house. They're great. And The Great Ones outlines the principles of success and wealth accumulation. So, interestingly, In both of these books, both of them, one of the things that you'll find out is that there are two characteristics that shine above all else when it comes to succeeding. Number one characteristic, necessary ingredient for success, bar none, top of the list, is perseverance or persistence or tenacity or stick-to-itiveness, or however you want to call that quality that says, I will never, ever quit. You just can't beat someone who's never, ever going to quit. Number two, and I know sometimes this is just a tough one to swallow. It just is what it is. Accept it, embrace it, be a part of it, love it. Hard work, the willingness to pay the price, make the sacrifice, go the extra above what everybody else is willing to do. If you do those two things, persevere and work hard, and internalize that to where it becomes a part of you, you cannot be stopped. Here's the key though when it comes to ultimate wealth creation, massive wealth, the X factor. Persevere, work hard will get you success, not necessarily super big wealth. Why? Because you have to work hard and persevere at something, at some strategy, some business model that is going to yield big time wealth. What if, for example, you worked really hard and persevered at kite flying? You might be the world's greatest kite flyer. It is not going to lead to massive wealth. If you were persevering and working hard at bricklaying, you might be able to lay bricks better than anybody on the planet. It is still not going to yield massive wealth. There's one other factor that is necessary. And here's why it's necessary. Here's the X factor. The X factor for massive wealth that came about through my interviews of the billionaires that I had a chance to sit with. You have to believe that you deserve it. Let me repeat that. You have to believe that you deserve to be wealthy. So, if you're a thinking person like me, what's coming into your mind right now is, well, that's all fine and good, Ridgely. How do I get to the place where I believe that I deserve it? And it goes back directly to what Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich. Number one, you have to work really hard. And number two, you have to persevere. And number three, you have to follow a model that is going to prove to be successful. In other words, you have to financially educate yourself. You have to think in terms of wealth accumulation, not kite flying or bricklaying. What is a strategy that's going to get me there? And if I'm willing to persevere and work hard at a strategy that's going to get me there, then I will begin to believe that I deserve it. If you don't believe you deserve, I promise you will find a way to sacrifice, to sabotage, to crush your dream, whatever it may be, and all of a sudden the wealth will not accumulate. Yes, you may do okay. Yes, with just tenacity and perseverance and hard work, you're going to go far. But you have to get to the space where you believe you deserve it. Now, it's easy to say this, and I'm sorry to share the information, the knowledge that you're probably already thinking. It's not so easy to do this. It has to be real. This has to hit your subconscious. There's not, oh yeah, man, I deserve it. I'm good. I work hard. No. This has to be much deeper than that. Working hard, persevering, have to be a part of your being, who you are, and they have to be coupled with the financial education that teaches you the model that is going to get you to that massive wealth. The leverage that you need, the being able to use this flow of energy in a way that leads to wealth. It's not enough to just persevere and work hard. You have to persevere and work hard at something that's going to work. Which brings me to this point. Your bank account will always, always, always reflect your financial education. If you have a small bank account, it's because you haven't taken the time to financially educate yourself as to how money works and what you need to do. And the question that I'd be asking myself about that is, well, where do I find that out? It's not as though they have classes in Money Education 101. No, you have to go to people who have already done it. The study of the great ones, much like the study of Think and Grow Rich, was of people who went from nothing to massive wealth. So that when you hear from these people, you hear directly from the source, exactly how they did it. And let me ask you a question. Wouldn't you have liked to have been there, sitting at the table with Napoleon Hill when he was interviewing Rockefeller or Edison or Henry Ford? Just listening to everything they had to say, and not just what they said, but how they said it. What did they emphasize? Where was the inflection in their tone? What were they particularly passionate about? What really made it critical for them? What were their key points? I don't know about you. I would have loved to have been there. And I'm sure that any of us can recognize the immense value that that would have given us when it comes to strategies for massive wealth. Well, guess what? 100 years later, with the great ones, we did that. Because we filmed it all on DVD. These are the DVDs of the great ones. People making $2-3 million a day. I think you might gain some benefit from listening to them. What do you think? So here's what I'd like you to do. Make the investment in your financial education now. Don't wait. I want you to educate yourself so that you get an MBA, a mega bank account. Not one of those things that they make you go to school for a really long time to do and come out with a piece of paper that doesn't mean anything when it comes to financial wealth accumulation. Get yourself a copy of the great ones. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm so convinced of the power of this. The great ones has two sections to it. The right side is the story, and the left side are the principles that came out of the story, including the X factor on deserving. Get yourself a copy of the great ones in hardcover, and I'm going to give you a softcover copy of the story for you to pass on to someone that you care about. Here's what's really cool about this program and the fact that we've been at it 8 years and that I'm in charge of it. I get to do really fun things when it comes to flow. If you go to thegreatonesonline.com, which is where the book comes to life in the form of DVD presentations, you'll see that the greatonesonline.com program is $347. And in my mind, $347 to personally see directly from the source how billionaires think is nothing. And not only that, each one of these DVDs comes along with a video explanation from me, along with written PDFs of all the key points and exercises that you can implement, can do to internalize these concepts and put them to work in your business, in your ventures. $347, that's all it is. Well, guess what? I decided to slash $200 off of that price for this offer right now. If you go to the website, it's not available. For you, right now, $147 to get thegreatonesonline.com. All you have to do is click on the button below and go and get the program. Guess what else? I've decided that if you're willing to go get thegreatonesonline.com, you must be serious about your financial education, and therefore I'm going to give you this book for free, and I'm going to autograph it. And not only that, I'm going to give you a copy of the paperback to pass on to someone that you care about for free as well. So for $147, not $347, right now, click on the button below. Get yourself thegreatonesonline.com. It's like mentoring from the mega wealthy. And I'm going to throw in the hardcover book with the code, including the X Factor for massive wealth, and a softcover for you to pass on to someone that you care about. I want to leave you with this one thought. You must educate yourself. If you want to get to serious success and massive wealth, you must continue your financial education. So I'm encouraging you right now to go down and click on the button and get yourself a copy of thegreatonesonline.com. And post some posts so that I can answer you. Tell me what you're thinking about on the blog. I read every single post. I want to hear from you. I want to support your financial prosperity. So go ahead, click on the button, and I'll see you inside the blog. Thanks so much.